I think I could have handled it from any other state. I really could. I haven't snapped. It was happening here in Texas. I haven't snapped. They're looking into it. I just got a letter, an email in this morning that I have to read to you because it's happened in other states. And I haven't snapped. But Florida? Florida? The people who brought us selected, not elected? Oh, my gosh. You need a timeout. Everybody in Florida, you need a timeout. Let me read this to you here. Listen to this. Dear Glenn, I want you to know the state of Iowa yesterday. Our sister and daughter and son-in-law, who is a U.S. citizen but from Argentina and speaks with a heavy accent, went in to vote ahead of his wife. They handed him, my nephew, a voting ballot that was inside a plastic sheet. He went to the voting table before the machines, and when he looked at it, he saw that the ballot was already filled out with all of the Democratic candidates. He got angry and went back to them and said, "What are you doing? Give me a ballot that's blank." They seemed a little flustered, as if they were hiding something. My extended family believes the volunteers expected that he was an illegal who didn't know better by his thick accent and dark skin, which would be racist, of course. It seemed that they had a separate container with these pre-marked Democratic ballots. I am furious. My entire family is furious. My sister said trucks of illegals are taken to work in the town for Tyson. There are many of those that are being given these Democratic marked ballots at the voting station. Only a driver's license is required to vote there. The attendants tell them just to push it through the machine. Clear voter fraud. This is in Iowa. We don't need Russia to do it. We got our own people doing it. You're just not going to say anything today, are you?
I'm happy to say you were in a rant, and I didn't want to cut you off. Do you believe there was a mass voter fraud in California, in Florida? I mean, it's obviously
no. I don't
bizarre.
believe anything. I think that there is the possibility. I think we're just going to go through what we went through in 2000, where nothing is really, really super clear. It's just muddied waters and just helps us be a little more, 1968 in our spirit for the country.
Well, it's amazing because they have, they're supposed to, a recount is not necessarily bad, right? Every close election legally has a recount. So it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yes.
It's just the idea that they're supposed to, in Broward County, supposed to be able to say, hey, we have this many ballots left to count. And they just keep finding them. Like there's a story of this person working at a school who found a box that just said provisional ballots, and she was afraid to open it because she was afraid to tamper with evidence. When they opened it, it was just a bunch of signs and pencils, and there weren't any ballots inside. But this is the sort of thing you're talking about. These are, there's local schools. They're finding ballots of, boxes they think might have ballots in them. Large numbers of votes are just popping up kind of out of nowhere.
It's really kind of interesting. You should be able to count when you come in. Every state I've ever voted in, including Florida, you come in and you have to sign. They find your name, you sign, and they give you a ballot. You should be able to count that and say, here are the number of people that voted. How come Florida and Broward County can't tell us how many people voted? And then they're like, oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, I had this. I found these in my secure suit pocket, but here are some more. How is that possible?
Right. I mean, some states have rules where mail-in ballots can come in after Election Day. For example, California, I think today is the deadline in California, where if you mail a ballot that is mailed and postmarked by Election Day and it gets there by Friday, the vote can still count. And that's why a lot of these California House races are out there and still undecided and maybe won't be decided for God knows how long. But that's not supposed to be the case.
We're making anything better. I don't think we're making anything better. I don't know about you, but I don't remember all these problems growing up. I don't remember them. And maybe they were all corrupt back then, but I don't remember.
I do remember some dead people in Chicago voting a few times.
Remember. Yeah, no, but that's Chicago. And, Florida, it's not you. Anybody who's lived in Florida their whole life, I don't think it's you. I think it's the corrupt Democrats that are moving out of New York. Don't let them New York your Florida.